been forever since I've done a live stream. Kind of a different setup here. Got my swords in the background. Got the laptop set up with a beautiful scenery. Or is it beautiful scenery? So, those of you who don't know, I am a major He-Man and the Masters of the Universe fan. I have seen every show of the Masters of the Universe. I've never read any of the comics or anything. But I've seen the original 80s show, the 90s show, the 2000s show. I've watched both Netflix adaptations to their completion. I've watched the original She-Ra. I watched the Netflix remake of She-Ra, which when I first watched it, I was really on the fence about, but as the seasons went on, I actually started to root for the characters. Because they do something with the relationships in the Netflix She-Ra that I like, and it's natural relationship development. Closest sword I've got to a power sword in terms of shape. Now, what do I mean by the natural development of relationships? I mean, and I'm going to be blunt here, having gay, lesbian, or pretty much any non-straight relationship that wasn't just thrown in there last minute to check off a box of inclusivity like Disney does with 90% of their damn movies. Now I'm going to be perfectly clear with you. The Owl House, I fucking love that show. I still root for Luz and Amity even to this day because their relationship started out natural and progressed. I watch Has Been Hotel and I watch Hell of a Boss, and I root for Blitz and Stolas to end up together. The main gay couple of Hell of a Boss, and we also have Charlie and Vaggie, who is currently trying to find a new name because watch the show and you'll find out. But they're the main lesbian couple of Has Been Hotel, and I root for them. I don't give a damn what way you swing, but if you're going to write a story or you're going to make a movie and you add these kinds of relationships in there just because they're fucking there to check off checks and balances and quotas, then it completely ruins the immersion of the story, especially if you don't give any justifiable reason, like, this female had horrible experiences with men, so that's why she's lesbian now, or even just saying that she just finds girls attractive would give more credence to your damn movie or your story than just having them in there for checks and balances. All right. Also, people have heard me be active about the not wanting race or gender swapping for characters already established. Now, if you can come up with this is the same thing as the relationship I just mentioned. If you can come up with a justifiable reason why you are changing either the gender or the race or anything like that to a character that's already pre-established, like if they made Tila a male and called him Tyler. All right? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, no, Tila is canonically female and also marries Adam at the end of the canon He-Man Classics comic book line. And they have a son together who then becomes the next champion of Eternia. But in any case, if you can give me a justifiable reason, and this will be prevalent when we get to Idris Elba and as Man-at-Arms, a decision that I fucking love, by the way. if that race-swapped character can still provide the same energy, the same presence as the character they were originally supposed to be portraying. Like a year or two ago, they were talking about making a Harry Potter TV series and having a black guy play Professor Snape. And a lot of Harry Potter fans went into a full-on nerd rage over it. I mean, as long as you can portray the same emo goth energy, more power to you. As long as the story makes sense is what I'm getting at. And you don't ruin the damn movie. Now, for context, Man-at-Arms is a white ginger in the original show. In the 2000 show, they made him a brown-haired white guy. And in the CGI Netflix show, for some reason, I think they made him either Latino or Mexican, at least in design, or the way his design looks. I don't know. Don't really care. I loved his character in that. Because the CGI, I felt, was a complete standalone He-Man original show. Not really made for OG fans like myself, even though I wasn't born when He-Man first aired, but I grew up with the 80s He-Man through my father. So, fans of the OG like me, technically my He-Man would have been the 2000s He-Man. But, I digress. Because Duncan was able to... Basically, they made him his own version of Man-at-Arms in that show, and I fucking loved his character. He was goofy, but he was still technically savvy, and his technology was clearly superior to Trapjaw's, which he's a master of the universe. He's the master of weapons. Any weapon Man-at-Arms makes, even if it's a glorified pocket knife, is going to be the best version of that glorified pocket knife that anyone in the Eternian universe can make. That's what it means to be a master of the universe. But in any case. And Idris Elba, I know, has the acting chops and the presence necessary to play Man-at-Arms. Now, the way Man-at-Arms is portrayed, in my opinion, is very much like the old, grizzled veteran that... Let's see if there's any comments. Huh. I don't see any comments yet. But in any case, is a very wise, old, grizzled mentor veteran figure that is very calm, even in the heat of battle, very focused. And Idris Elba can deliver that kind of performance. Now we're going to see my live reactions to the trailer. I have not watched the trailer yet, but I have heard that it is basically Prince Adam gets sent to Earth to protect him from something, and the thing that can get him back to Earth, the power sword, is there, but he can't claim it yet because he's not worthy of the power. Basically, I've heard they took the basic plot of the first Thor movie and added it to He-Man. So without further ado, don'ts and probably shouldn'ts, my ramblings and my precursor to the video already set up, let's get started. Fucking play!
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships.
That's another fucking thing. If Cringer cannot talk in this movie, or if he's not a coward, that is immediately going to get like negative 1,000 points from me. Okay? I like Cringer in the CGI He-Man show because Cringer Cringer is not a coward. Cringer is afraid. Cringer will run away from something that scares him, which is understandable. But when he actually has to stand up, when he actually has to face something, he will face it. There were times in the original He-Man show where he told Adam, even though he was scared, to purposely turn him into Battle Cat. And if you've ever watched the original show, he hates becoming Battle Cat. And that's another thing. Fucking Battle Cat's not in here, but Cringer is. Because you know what, my boy, you know your boy's going to do a review of this movie when it comes out. If fucking Cringer is not in this, I mean, if Battle Cat is not in this shit, and Cringer is, I will lose my fucking shit.
Magic swords that can make a man as...
Okay, so here we have the Power Sword. I'm not going to lie, this design goes fucking hard. Look at it! Look at it! A perfect rendition of the original He-Man Power Sword. Couple of little things I would change here. One, I would add the little bulbs that were on the original Power Sword to the four corners here. I would make the whole blade a satin gray. And I would remove the diamond-like katana wrapping on the grip. Because for me, it just doesn't scream Eternian like... Eternia has a very much medieval sci-fi feel to it. This does not feel medieval. This feels more Eastern samurai katana-like. Also, I would fix the transitions in the crossguard area where they would flow more smoothly. So instead of like stark transitions, if this was the edge of the Sword of Power's guard, I would actually have it swoop into the grip. Same with the pommel down here, just for aesthetics.
It's mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff.
Okay, so we got... This is supposed to be Eternia. We got the mountains, we got the lake here. We got the statues, but honestly, this seems like a colored down version of Asgard from the first Thor movie. And Scalagrim's already done a review of this, and I'm kind of agreeing a little bit with him. I feel like this is a little too dark and muted to be Eternia, because Eternia, especially Eternos, the capital of Eternia, where King Randor holds court, is supposed to be very colorful, very bright, very cheerful and happy. But from the clips I've seen of this trailer, I guess Skeletor destroys half of it or something. We'll find out.
Is real.
Okay, this is Prince Adam. Yeah. Mid. This is Prince Adam when he's supposed to be on Earth. And I could see this as being Prince Adam from He-Man. I mean, he's wearing a black shirt. Normally in the original, he wore a pink shirt, a pink vest, and a white undershirt. But he looks like he could have played Prince Adam. Got the Sword of Power all over the damn wall. Oh, so this is what happened.
I wanted you to be safe.
No. Whoa. Back the fuck up here.
I wanted you to be safe.
That is supposed to be Queen Marlena? That is not fucking Queen Marlena. Okay? And I'll tell you why. She's blonde. Alright? Every time Queen Marlena has shown up in He-Man literature, she has had red hair. Okay, they got the green dress down, but she's always had red hair. Alright, from the original show to the comics, always had red hair. And Marlena, from the original show, is supposed to be an Earth astronaut who got sucked into a wormhole and got spat out on Eternia and was consequently found by King Randor and a younger man-at-arms. And King Randor fell in love with Marlena, birthing Prince Adam and Princess Adora, who would later become She-Ra. My He-Man knowledge is on point.
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. I sent you to a place that...
Sent him to a place they knew they'd never find you. Okay, I think they're keeping the Earth origin for Queen Marlena by the sounds of it, because how the hell else would she know about Earth?
I knew that they'd never find you.
Wait a minute, that's not exactly what I wanted to see. What I wanted to see was...
So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? The helmet proportions, especially on this fucker. There's a massive fucking gap in the helmet. There's like this much space between the helmet and the head. That would not serve you. I mean, the overall shape is Gen 1 He-Man, flawless to a T. This looks like they just copy and pasted from the original TV show. Granted, the armor of the original Eternian army was basically a simplified version of the original Man-at-Arms design. But still. The fuck is this? It's like, oh. Like, ew. Brother, ew. What's that? What's that, brother? Alright. And they're all silver. No color, no orange, no green, no brown. Those were the original colors of the Eternian Royal Army, because they were the same colors as Man-at-Arms' original design. This looks like cheap-ass Mandalorian bullshit. Like if they had Mandalorian on a bottom-ass budget. Okay, sword dude. Samurai, knight, armor and weapons are a thing of mine. And this will be in the review, me criticizing this for about an hour. I could literally rant about an hour just for the armor design alone. And some of these faces saying like, oh, they know they fucked. This bastard over here looks like he's trying to decide whether he should take a shit or run like hell, or just trying to act tough, like, ugh.
So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
Yeah, What the fuck is this? Adam Glenn. I mean, I don't know if Marlena's last name was Glenn, but why the hell does he have he, him here? Okay? The pronoun bullshit is starting now. Alright? Controversial topic. I am a firm believer of only two genders. Alright, that's how I was raised. You do you, boobaloo. Just don't bother me about it. And I get that this could be a nod to, like, he as in He-Man. But with as much as Hollywood has pressed the whole, like, check-in boxes equality crap that doesn't make any sense in movies, because that's all it is. Disney CEO has actually come out with a damn list saying, okay, we have Latino, we have black, we have Mexican, We have gay, we have bisexual, we have chocolate Oompa Loompa, we have blueberry Oompa Loompa. Just check and mark, check and mark, check and mark, check and mark, check and mark. Like, do they actually help the story? No. Are they just there to check off a box and like, we're inclusive? No. What would have been inclusive is if you actually hired real physical, and I'm going to use the term dwarves here, to play the live-action dwarves in the Snow White, which, by the way, Disney's live-action Snow White beat Dragon Ball Evolution as the worst movie ever made. For those of you who have ever watched Dragon Ball Evolution, you know that you have to be absolutely beyond any form of redemption to beat it. And that movie beat it. Worse than Michael Jackson. Beat it, beat it, beat it. See, this is what happens when Outlaw gets unhinged.
This obsession with nerd stuff.
Now, I do like this little tidbit that they added, and that's that he's wearing pink, because in the original He-Man, as I said before, he wears a pink vest and a white long sleeve undershirt. Also pink loincloth and pink boots with white underpants. That could be doubled as long underwear, I suppose.
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things.
Don't know who the hell this is. Probably a boss they just threw in there.
It's not a good look for human resources.
The fuck you mean it's not a good look for human resources? I beg your finest fucking pardon. You nearly bald-headed, stupid-ass bitch. Nerds and geeks make up 99.9999% of the fucking workforce that involve computers. If you didn't have nerds and geeks, we wouldn't have computers like we do now. Okay? Power to the nerds and geeks. Fuck you.
Sword things. It's not a good look for human.
I love how he has like a fucking ad out.
Not a good look for
Like a whole Katana sign Mitsu no Kami Jujiwara Toshi. Okay, I don't know. That sounds like one of the 10 swords of Japan, which, if you don't know, the 10 swords of Japan or the Tenriko or the 10 swords under heaven, they are the 10 most fine, most well-crafted blades in Japan. And for some reason, if y'all are leaving comments, I'm sorry. For fucking reasons, I don't know. My phone is not letting me see the comments. Hold on a moment. This worked last time. I'm going to open up a second tab. Go to my channel. Open that up. Turn the volume off on that. Okay, so no one's left a comment yet. Okay. Hey, look, it's Outlaw watching Outlaw watching Outlaw. But in case, I love that he has like a lost dog sign for the sword. That just brings a chuckle to my eyes. Like, but then again, like, how the hell did you lose the Sword of Power? Okay, you're literally the only one that could fucking use it to begin with. Well, technically not true because Skeletor in Revelations, but Revelations isn't canon to the main story of He-Man.
For human resources.
Oh, they found the sword. They found the fucking sword. Oh, we got chat. Hello, Roboto-san. Alright. And here's for those of you new to commenting on my live streams, I try to answer all the comments that I can when they pop up. And remind me later about the split view thing. Ooh, I don't know what the crown #1 thing is, but what I'm watching... Oh, the chat actually does show up on my phone. Alright, so what we're watching today is the... okay, I'm going to read this over here so I can read them better. What we're watching today is the live action trailer for the Masters of the Universe movie coming out June 5th. Geekopedia is doing fine, and we will be doing more live streams together. It's just scheduling issues that keep us from doing it. And I hope you're also doing well, Roboto-san. Yeah. So, back to the thing where Prince Adam just had someone basically text, "Hey, yo, bro, I found your sword for you." I know what happens if I... Okay, yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
What in the techno He-Man bullshit is this? What is this? The fuck is this? The sword was so shiny when we first seen it, and now the sword looks more like its classic color scheme with its darker... I'm not really ragging on the darker coloring, but the single-handed grip. You need to understand that for a blade with that much mass in front of it, that much metal up front, a single-handed grip just ain't gonna cut it. All right. There's a reason why very long blades, like my long sword here, are married to longer grips. It gives you more control, more leverage, and allows you to generate more power. Now, if a blade is balanced well enough, you can get away with using a long sword in one hand if it has a good enough balance to it. But the one thing I've always kind of not liked about the Sword of Power is that it was always designed to be a one-handed sword, which I like how they corrected those design flaws, that one design flaw in the 2000 show and in the CGI He-Man Revelations and the other Netflix one. Didn't really correct that too much. And with such a tiny pommel, you're not going to get the benefit of a counterweight at the back. And I know some people say, oh, that's a myth. The pommel wasn't there. They were hollow. Some pommels were hollow, but it doesn't matter if the pommel is hollow or not. It's still going to serve a counterweighting purpose because it's a massive ball of metal at the end of a lever. It works on trebuchet logic. And there we see the whole, like, are you fucking telling me you can't pull that out of the damn mannequin's hand? Break the damn hand off. How are you struggling this much? You are fucking Prince Adam, son of Randor, son of Queen Marlena, defender of the secrets of Eternia. Like, I will say this word for fucking word, okay? My name is Adam, defender of Castle Grayskull and protector of the secrets of defender of Eternia and protector of secrets of Castle Grayskull. Magical secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, by the power of Grayskull, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Word for word, his damn intro from the original 1980s fucking show. I should have been fucking cast in this movie, okay? I would have gladly played Man-at-Arms, Ram Man, hell, I would have played Orko, okay? I love fucking Orko because Orko is the entire reason we have He-Man to begin with. When Orko first came to Eternia, he saved Prince Adam and Cringer from being either drowned in a swamp or eaten by lizard creatures in a swamp, thus allowing him to grow up to become He-Man, defender of Eternia, and the people of the court treat him like shit because his magic fucks up all the time. No, the reason his magic fucks up is because either Orko needs a special amulet or wand to focus his magic on Eternia, because the magic wavelengths on Eternia do not function the same way as on Trala. They are reversed. Orko needed those items to focus his magic. Without them, his magic tends to go haywire. Okay? And you made my boy Orko a jester? No. Okay, Orko is a wizard. And technically, his parents wanted to name him Oracle, if you believe the Revelations timeline. But Orko is the entire reason we have He-Man. Yes, Roboto-san, justice for Orko. It's like, I can even do an Orko voice. It's like, He-Man, She-Ra. I'm not as good as the original actor, but I feel I'm fairly decent. Okay, back to him having a fucking hernia trying to remove the damn sword from a plastic hand, which should be pretty fucking easy for him. Because, again, he's supposed to become He-Man, but it's like, oh, I have to earn my right to become He-Man. It's like, no, you became He-Man originally because shit hit the fan and you were destined to become him. Hey, Armored Sweatpants. Ain't seen you for a while, my brother. How is everything? And you too, Roboto-san. I don't understand the emojis, but more power to you. Now then, back to He-Man having a fucking hernia.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry. The sword's mine.
Wait, whoa. Like, oh, don't worry, the sword's mine, but that's aside the point. What the fuck is this Conan the Barbarian ass motherfucker? Alright. Just waving hi. Okay, thanks for the clarification, Roboto-san. I'm just bulletproof and bound for glory. We are both bound for Valhalla, my brother. Well, what the fuck is this? Conan the Barbarian bullshit. Okay, if that's supposed to be King Grayskull, I'm not following, okay? I did like King Grayskull's design in Revelations. Alright? Reminded me of a friend of mine named Roger. Okay, we got the first real scene of Castle Grayskull. Decent. I'm not really a fan of one tower being taller than the other. And there's really no real castle walls, but Castle Grayskull is supposed to be on this giant, almost bottomless pit to begin with. But I don't really see any ramparts or battlements that could be easily defended in case of invasion. And you would think that the sorceress, or like Man-at-Arms and the sorceress, have fucked in a lot of the. In some continuities, Tila is the adopted daughter. In some continuities, they are the Man-at-Arms is the biological father, and in some continuities, Mephisto, who is Man-at-Arms' brother, is the biological father of Tila. But in any case, you would think Man-at-Arms would have armed Grayskull with anti-aircraft weaponry. Okay, the jaw bridge. And I say jaw bridge, not drawbridge, jaw bridge. Because in the original cartoon, there was an actual chant that you had to say to open the jaw bridge, and that was, by the power of Grayskull, I command the jaw bridge to open. Now, whether that had to be said while Prince Adam was in He-Man's form or not, don't really know. But that was how they opened the bridge normally, and that's my headcanon. Like, you always had to say that unless the sorceress opened the jaw bridge herself.
Hold on, scratch about weird.
And that's supposed to be Tila.
Hold on, scratch about weird.
Okay, so she has brown hair in this scene. Again. No. No. Red hair. Red fucking hair. You have one job, fuckers. Alright, and that's to get shit right so that we fans say shut up and take our money. Alright. Roboto-san, if you want to watch He-Man, watch the 1980s first. Okay, that's the best. That's the golden child. That's the chef's kiss. Perfection. All right. Okay, so I don't think this is supposed to be... I think they are dealing with an Earth in the Eternian universe, the same as how Queen Marlena ended up on Eternia, because that whole scene right there appeared more like a light speed jump than a dimensional warp. And I'm assuming these should be past kings of Eternia, the statue. Okay, what the fuck? How are these fuckers already in the ship unless Adam was in the cockpit with Tila alone? This is supposed to be Roboto, which Dolph Lundgren was great in the 80s. I'm going to say Armored Sweatpants. I actually love the live action 80s Skeletor of that movie. I don't like the Sword of Power in that movie for the same reason I said before. The grip is far too short for that massive ass blade that was welded onto it. And this is Roboto. In the original, he had like a see-through chest with a couple of gears. So I do understand the CGI restrictions on Roboto. Fucking Cringer looks like an oversized tiger that's just been painted green. I mean, you could have done something better for my boy Cringer. Like, make him more animated instead of just borrowing the damn CGI from the Lion King live action that no one asked for. Yes, Outlaw's becoming savage, but I'm still biting my tongue on a lot of shit. Because I don't want my fucking video taken down. Tila's design and outfit right here. I didn't get to read that all the way. I was a little old for He-Man. I was hella love Thundercats guy. I was like, Thundercats! That if they make a live action, they'd still fuck up. Oh! Alright. But yeah, that's Roboto. Like I said, they just basically copy and pasted the fucking thing for Cringer. Tila's whole outfit, that's passable. I could see Tila rocking that fit in the original show if she had to. And Man-at-Arms, as Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms, oh la la, perfection. It looks like they actually fucking cared about his armor, because it's honestly an almost 1-for-1 Thundercats, oh. Because it's almost a perfect 1-for-1 from the original source material. I do have one thing that I don't particularly like, and that's that it's very dark and monotone. I would have loved a good few splashes of orange, and maybe a little inspiration from the 2000s where he had the one massive pauldron on his other side and a furry plume on his right. Or the massive pauldron was on his right, the furry plume was on his left. But they got that perfect for Man-at-Arms. And it looks like he has the Man-at-Arms Chuck Norris fucking Magnum PI mustache. Let's fucking go! Yep. He's got the mustache! I was going to say if they... LFG. You're going to have to explain that one too, Roboto-san. I'm not very well versed in anagrams. But yeah. And like I said, they got our boy Man-at-Arms, Idris Elba, Duncan right. Okay. His presence alone, for me, could save the entire movie. Oh, let's fucking go. Okay, perfect. Then LFG, let's fucking go. And again, Cringer. They couldn't do anything more for Cringer than just making him an oversized fucking tiger. And he better fucking talk, too. Alright.
What am I supposed to...
Perfect close-up of the stash. The helmet. Oh my god. They do have the fucking pauldron! The Man-at-Arms pauldron! Let's fucking go! I agree, Roboto-san. He does look good. Alright? This is... If you drag the original Man-at-Arms from the original show, put him through a dark filter, and that would be his armor. But this is Man-at-Arms to me. Alright? Idris Elba could single-handedly carry this entire movie, and I would... They could have just made a fucking Man-at-Arms... I want to see the, like, backstory for this Man-at-Arms. Like, sequel, Man-at-Arms, Masters of the Universe, Man-at-Arms. There's something we don't really... You never really consider, like... origin movies for the other Masters of the Universe. Man-at-Arms, Mechanic, Manny Two-Face, Stratos, Buzz-Off, Ram-Man, Orko, Tila. Yeah, that's Idris Elba. He plays Man-at-Arms.
What am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to be a fucking wimp and pull the sword of power out of the plastic hands and say, by the power of Grayskull, and become He-Man. Oh, Skeletor. Now, I will say this, fucking Jared Leto is supposed to play Skeletor. That Jared Leto from the Suicide Squad movie. Alright? Fucking no! No, I do... It's not too late. Just kick his ass out and get Mark Hamill to voice Skeletor, because I did love Skeletor in Revelations until he thought with his dick instead of his actual brain, because, oh, I've now attained everything I've ever wanted. I have the power of the universe. I have all the powers of Grayskull. I can rule the entire universe, but no, Evelyn convinced me to give all that power up just so I could get my dick wet, and then she took all the power for herself. Yes, I agree, Roboto-san. Jared Leto, no, not my Skeletor, okay? I want fucking Mark Hamill back or whoever the hell played Skeletor in the 2000 show, because 2000 Skeletor is my favorite Skeletor. Women, he is a bitch. But in any case, and I can even do a Skeletor voice. Listen, curse you, He-Man. I could write a book on things you don't know, Beast Man. You bumbling fool. Like, if either you or Armored Sweatpants have heard. Power attracts the worst of the worst. Not entirely sure what you mean by that, Armored Sweatpants. Cast Outlaw in this movie, Hollywood. Dude, if I was fucking Skeletor or had any say, this would be a rated R He-Man movie off rip. Like, we would have blood, there would be people dying. I would do my own stunts, and I'd also choreograph the damn fight scene. I made Tom Cruise look like a bitch. I will literally strap myself to a helicopter to do a flying scene. But in any case, there would be blood, there would be fight, there would be actual fucking choreographed fight scenes. And I would even have in the original, like, classic continuity of, like, the mini comics, because back when He-Man first came out, you would get these mini comics with the toys. All right, and in the mini comics, the Sword of Power was actually two separate blades that had to be brought together to fully harness the power of Grayskull. I'd have that shit in here too. Like, I'd give Skeletor one half of the power sword, Prince Adam the other half of the power sword, and then massive epic battle. He-Man unites both. Prince Adam unites both blades, says by the power of Grayskull, and becomes He-Man. But the design of Skeletor alone is, oh my fucking god, I love this design. Idris Elba and Skeletor, by designs alone, may save this entire movie. Granted, I don't know how well Jared Leto. I will say this. I am willing to give Jared Leto's voice a try as Skeletor, because that Joker voice of his, if it was given actually decent lines, might translate well into Skeletor. Yeah, you're right, Roboto-san. Jared Leto may surprise me. And we don't actually hear Skeletor talk in the trailer from what I've been told. So, I guess they're trying to save that for like a surprise when the actual movie hits theaters.
Take the sword.
Oh, they have Mephisto! Yeah, and I bet they're keeping him a surprise too. Okay, this angle of the power sword, I like. It does appear like they've elongated the grip back here to be more hand and a half sword. But just all that metal. And I know in He-Man, like, in the 2000 show, Prince Adam made the joke, like, oh, the sword's heavy. And the sword was like, oh, it'll be lighter in the hands of He-Man. Like, basically just man up. But from a practical standpoint, where you have that much metal in front of your hand, and the balance would just be atrocious as hell. Now, there could be enchantments on the sword that make it lighter. He-Man having the strength to literally throw fucking mountains around makes the sword's weight kind of feel superfluous. But in the hands of Prince Adam, it could prove to be quite cumbersome. Remember the last time Leto tried to play an iconic villain? He was terrible as the Joker. I can't imagine he is going to do much better as Skeletor. I wrote Block. I am of the same opinion, but I'm going to give faith to Roboto-san and see what happens We don't know. Jared Leto may actually be able to voice Skeletor. I'm still of the opinion we should get Mark Hamill to voice him again like he did in Revelations. Or whoever the hell voiced Skeletor in the 2000s He-Man show to come back. And I think the original voice actor for Skeletor is still alive. Who knows? He may make a cameo in the show. Movie, I should say. But yeah. As I was saying, this much weight in front of your hands as a normal human would be extremely cumbersome. But in the hands of He-Man, the Power Sword's weight basically becomes an issue that's completely thrown out the window. And I know who this villain is supposed to be, because Skeletor has a member of his Masters of Evil, which are what Skeletor and his cronies are called. Alan Oppenheimer. Thank you, I Roadblock. And I know who this is supposed to be. I think he's Spyco or something. Masters of the Universe is known for very corny, very on-the-nose names. I can't remember who the fuck he's supposed to be. Still alive too, but like 90 LOL. Hey, Jason, ZP8QB. Fuck, that's going to like annoy me for the fucking next 10 hours at least. You know what? I'm not fucking dealing with that. I am going to find out now. Skeletor, henchman, spiky head. Spycore! When's the next food review or cooking stream? I was going to do a cooking video, but I fucked up what I was cooking severely, and I deleted that video. But I will make another food review. I like outlaw food vids. Thank you, Roboto-san. Jason likes them too. But I guess this is supposed to be Spycore. Okay, so I was going to make a video, a little bit of a tangent here. I was going to make a video about cooking beans in a crock pot. Yeah, the food reviews are pretty great. Thank you, I Roadblock. Thank you. I was going to make a video about making beans in a crock pot, and I put the shells in with the beans at the very start. Thinking, okay, if I put this on low, it's not going to do anything. And by the time the beans were only half cooked and still crunchy, beans, the musical fruit. Exactly. Okay, so by the time the beans were only half done and still crunchy, it had transformed into this thick, amalgamated mess that no matter how much water I put in, the beans weren't cooking, and so I decided to scrap the whole thing. I still have another bag of beans, so if y'all want to see a cooking video of where I actually make beans, spaghetti cooks quick. Yeah, I didn't use spaghetti. I used pasta shells. But yeah, I found that out very quickly. I also found out that if you let that happen, it becomes extremely thick and can serve as a thickening agent. Cooking live stream would be cool. Oh yeah, they cook long. Oh, they cook longer. Okay. A cooking live stream would be cool, but a crockpot live stream, I don't know if I'm physically capable of coming up with enough shit to talk about consistently for the 6+ hours that it would take to make beans in a coffee. Not in a beans in a fucking coffee pot. Beans in a crock pot. Yeah, watching paint dry. Watching Outlaw slowly sink into the depths of his questionable madness. But that's supposed to be Spycore. I don't know who the hell this is supposed to be. I'm going to assume maybe Beastman, but He's got like the horns. Maybe they're making Ram Man like a deserter in this. That could be a possibility because Ram Man is supposed cutting practice while the beans cook. Tell us a funny work story. Okay, yeah, all right. I don't have anything to write down at the moment, but I'll just go back and look at the comments through the live stream. But yeah, so I don't know who this is supposed to be. Well, I don't remember who this is supposed to be because I don't remember Skeletor having any ram-headed minions in his Masters of Evil. But if this is Ram Man, not Ram Man, that's from the CGI one. But if this is Ram Man, already his design has just fucking lost it. They emphasize too much Ram, not enough man. But this fucker. Now this fucker is someone that I honestly did not expect them. Damn it. Pause at the right scene. There we go. But this fucker. Yeah, Ram Man is cool. He's also one of my favorite characters. Damn it. Trying to get... There, that's the best as it's going to go since I don't know how to do freeze frame. But this character is called Mephisto. Does Ram Man ever get to visit Ram Ranch? No, there's not an actual ranch in Masters of the Universe, Jason. Ram Man is a human battering ram. His power is running. Think of him like the juggernaut of the Masters of the Universe. Whatever he starts running, shit tends to just get blasted apart when he hits it with his head. Literally ramming into shit. Oh, Ram Ranch is a joke. I'll look that up later. Yeah. But no, Ram Man, he just rams his head into shit. He's extremely strong. In the original He-Man show, he had springs for legs. But this character is Mephisto, or Fisto, depending on pronunciation. But he basically has a metal right hook. Sorry, I'm dyslexic and autistic at the same time. Asperger's, what are you going to do? But in any case, he has a right hand, literally an iron fist, that he just punches people with. Plus, he has the stereotypical Eternian super strength, as he's able to send Skeletor's minions flying. Oh, I think we're about to get the scene. Another shot of Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms. I like how they have the hairstyle. A little bit afro-y, but also matches the original Man-at-Arms hairstyle from all the pictures I've seen. Man-at-Arms has a very, normally very flat, combed back hairstyle. And this is the closest you'll get with, the afro perm-like style of this particular haircut. And I'm really liking the hairline. And the fucking mustache. Wait, no. Okay, so this is Beastman. I've thought about getting a perm before, but I don't have the patience to sit in the salon chair that long. But no, apparently this is Beastman, and I am really liking their design here. Fun fact, from the way the design of this Beastman is, I think his design... I think his design borrows heavily from the 2000 version of He-Man with like the bone spikes instead of like the pauldron like spikes he has in the original show. And his hands, his feet, the way he jumps from car to car just screams Beastman. Even his facial features and pointed ears. Now, this isn't a very good. I agree, Roboto-san. He does look pretty cool. Now, this isn't a good picture because I don't know how to do freeze frames on YouTube. But just from the design alone, I have to say this is another solid design choice from the production team for me. It's screaming He-Man nostalgia. Now, this looks like it's set on Earth, so I'm thinking this particular scene is fairly early in the movie. Or mid-movie, depending on what they do. Like maybe Adam gives up halfway and decides to go back to Earth, and then Skeletor sends his minions after Adam to basically kill him. But like I said, we would get a very mature version of He-Man if I had any say in it. Well, I'm talking like Skeletor full on enslaves the entire planet of Eternia, and it's just an uphill battle to fight Skeletor. Because honestly, Skeletor is one of my favorite He-Man characters. Not villain or hero, because my favorite character is Man-at-Arms. I know, shocking. You would think that I would love He-Man as my favorite character, considering he's a swordsman, I'm a swordsman, but no, my favorite character in every iteration has always been Man-at-Arms. Because I'm going to reveal a secret, he kind of reminds me at least of in appearance of my uncle. But don't ever tell him I said that, because I will deny it, outlaw going full tsundere. But yeah, Beastman definitely looks solid in his design. Oh! Damn it! I had it, but then I lost it. Evil Lyn? Oh, that is perfect. Evil Lyn right here. Now, I will say I would have personally added more purple into her design, because she always had like a purple aesthetic, purple black goth girl. It's like, ooh la la, chef's kiss. Would you ever do cooking vids with Outlaw Uncle? No. Mainly because my uncle has a very, how should I put this? Blunt personality, as in he sounds like he's a complete asshole all the time. Damn it. But he's not actually an asshole. It's the way he talks, and he also doesn't like being on camera and shit. He's a very private person. So that's why he never says anything or looks into the camera when I'm filming my videos, and he'll see me film a video and just walk away and leave me to myself. So, and longtime viewers of the channel, they've known this as well. So thank you, Roboto, for asking. But no, he would not voluntarily be in the video. I'd have to like do a whole like sneaky ninja camera setup for him to be in a damn video. And it looks like they actually gave her white hair, which canonically Evil Lyn does have white to platinum blonde hair. I do like the fact that they gave her bracers. Tickle bitties could be a bit bigger, but that's personal choice. Yes. Outlaw is a man of culture, don't you know? But in any case, jokes aside, design is great. I would have definitely added more purple. She does have the staff, which is correct. Tila having a sword, which in some iterations, Tila actually also fights with a staff, mainly the 2000s iteration, but most of the time, Tila fights with a sword or a wrist-mounted blaster. And what the fuck did I just witness? Okay, Cringer looks like he's backing away because he's afraid. He's got the ears down, trying to do a half like snarl, trying to intimidate somebody. Oh, no, you lost me. See you, sweatpants. Ooh, what was that? I am an avid motorboater. Oh, you got me mewing, Roboto-san. A man of culture as well, I see. Yes, look at this distinguished gentleman as he watches so distinctly and distinguishedly. And I completely butcher grammar. Oh. Well, no. You had me at Cringer, and then you lost me at Cringer doing this shit. Because now he looks like he's actively trying to threaten someone or something or whatever the hell's pressing him against the wall of Grayskull, which I would assume is the wall of Grayskull given how dingy it is. And all the cobwebs and shit that you can't see because of light glare. But no. Cringer doing this shit. This is not He-Man Cringer. This is wrong. And Cringer roared, which I'm starting to think they did not give Cringer an actual voice in this, like, talking wise.
Okay.
So, yeah. No talking Cringer. Fucking pisses me off. Oh! My boy Man at Arms just jumping in the air, pulling a whole Hail Mary Jordan jump. Michael Jordan be proud, bitch, just slamming that damn mace down. Not only that. Oh my fucking God. They even got his weapon right. The mace. Man-at-Arms weapon of choice. His mace. Okay, production team, you are really cranking up my expectations for this show. I keep saying show, but movie. Okay, he calls down the power of Grayskull. Okay, if they did not have this scene in this show, He-Man fans across America would have made the 2016 riots on the Capitol look like fucking child's play as they stormed Hollywood. But now we finally get to see him raise the power sword, and we didn't hear him say, by the power of Grayskull, but they cut that part out to just skip to the transformation sequence to tease it. The fuck is this bullshit? I mean, granted, yeah, he's got a bit of muscle definition, but look how fucking tiny he is. Alright, that is not He-Man. Alright? This shit is He-Man. Alright? And Skeletor. Alright? He should have arms the size of bowling balls. What the hell is this? Alright. I mean, granted, it looks like he didn't skip leg day, but still. I mean, I like the costume. The costume is accurate to He-Man, but he just doesn't have the muscular bulk that classic He-Mans would have. Like, if someone with Arnold Schwarzenegger's 1980s professional powerlifter body was put in this costume with a blonde wig, that would be perfect He-Man physique for live action. Okay, so he does have some... He's... Time to go into a different rant. Because it's not the muscle definition anymore. It's that sword play that he's doing. Where he's... steroids could help. But now I'm going to get into the sword play because... Rewind the clip. Alright, so he comes down with a horizontal slash, taking out the one guard. Completely overextends the cut. And exposes his entire back. When you bring a cut down, you want to keep the blade as close to in front of you as possible with follow-through. Leaving the sword somewhere located within your midsection to above your hips. This just exposes his entire back, kidney area, get into the lungs right here. Whole back's exposed. Kidneys, viable target. Even his lungs and the back of his rib cage. Not to mention the entire back of his arm, which you're not going to be able to protect every part of your body with only a sword. That's what armor and shields were for. But if you are a lone swordsman and all you have is a sword, you need to learn how to work with that. And you could chalk it up to him not being accustomed to using the power, but in every iteration when He-Man first becomes He-Man, like his first transformation, he already has full control over his strength and power. It comes with the transformation. Okay, then he rises up into a ascending horizontal slash, again leaving his entire body open, leaving his legs exposed, his belly, his other kidney side, his entire arm. I mean, he has closed off direct access to his lungs and his rib cage by having the arm out, but he's also overextended his sword arm by just swinging wide and wild. Then he brings the sword up into a Montante-style flourish, which that sword is not meant to do. Something like my Nodachi here would probably be more suited to that kind of flourish, given its length. Because that kind of flourish and spin is made for crowd control, which he does use because, again, a crowd of soldiers are attacking him. But, again, look at the aftermath of it. All it takes is for one skilled swordsman to have swung their blade and his entire backside exposed, again, sword raised over his head, not even really blocking him in an exaggerated wrath guard. as he just swings it down and meets the gut. If he was fighting a competent swordsman, a competent swordsman would have aimed for the exposed spinal area here, because the sword's makeshift back scabbard kind of protects his shoulder blade area and doesn't really give immediate slashing access to his upper spine. And his shoulder blades are already natural armor against being stabbed in the back into the lungs. But a master swordsman with good training would be able to take full advantage and just slash across the spine, essentially paralyzing He-Man. Now, it's debatable whether they would be able to get through He-Man's skin, because He-Man does have extreme durability, but I digress. Not to mention that he brings the blade down and smashes it into the dude's gut. Desert Moon, hey Outlaw, big fan, keep up the good work. Thank you, Desert Moon 9. But like I said, he basically brings the blade down, slashes it into his gut, and the way he finishes so locked up and constrained. Like this. Granted, he does have the sword in front of him for once, but the way the blade is positioned in this position, his arm is exposed, his back is fine, it's protected by his chest, his knees are exposed, which you're not going to be able to protect every part of your body, but I'm still pointing it out. Not to mention his eyes are more than likely looking directly down at the ground and not up and around at the possible other soldiers that could be swarming him or attempting to swarm him at this very moment. All right. Mountain and the full Skeletor fit. Now, I will say this. Seems kind of wrinkly, like Skeletor is a little pruny. I definitely would have flattened out the wrinkles in his skin and given him a bit more muscle definition. Because Skeletor is supposed to be physically slimmer than He-Man, but more times than not, also has a build that could rival He-Man. And the Havoc staff, oh, that's perfection right there. The ram horn, everything about this design is perfection. Voice is still in question because we haven't heard it yet. The fuck is this? He looks like a fucking cosplayer. Look at this shit. He looks like a gym bro that decided to go as He-Man for Halloween. What the fuck is this? It looks like he went to Party City and spent the extra $100 on the premium cosplay package. And is that a bald spot on his head or just the gleam of the light? The only redeeming thing is still the sword. That's the only redeeming thing. The rest of this just looks like fucking cheap cosplay that was assembled last minute. I'm not very nitpicky about a lot of shit, but I am nitpicky about the shit that I am passionate about, and He-Man is one of the things that I fucking love. And not only does he look like a gym bro that skipped out on his pre-workout protein and creatine, I take back the comment of him skipping leg day. His legs are the same dimensions as his damn arms. How the fuck you manage that? Because even my fucking thighs are bigger than my arms. I don't know. But he did it. And he's doing it. And it's wrong. Okay, Skeletor ramming the hammock, using the hammock staff as a battering ram. That's on point for how Skeletor fights with that thing. Okay, so they clashed. Final scene of the trailer. Alright. So, my thoughts on the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe trailer. I've pretty much said through the entire live stream that there are definitely things that I would change, using a more muscular actor for He-Man, being one of them. Honestly speaking, like if I'm being 100% honest, I want to open this up so I can see the live chat. All right. If I'm being 100% honest, I would have cast John Cena as He-Man. All right. I would have kept this actor, the actor we've seen, for Prince Adam. But I would have cast John Cena as He-Man simply because John Cena has the build. If nothing else, John Cena has the physical build to have played a live-action He-Man. Obviously, I would have redesigned the sword to make it a bit more usable as a functional prop. But again, I'm a swordsman. Swords, kind of my thing. So, and I would have changed the choreography of the fight with He-Man and the Skeletor soldiers. The best I could think of to say. You guys. And I'm going to finally fucking stand as I no longer need to sit to do the review part of this. Oh. There we go. Whew. Now that I can bloody well stand and do this. All right. Now then. Huh. Okay. There we go. Now, as I was talking about before, so no one can say I'm talking on my ass, when Prince Adam overswings and it ends in this position, you notice that the blade is not protecting me at all. What Adam should have done is use his wrist, arm, and hips into a forward-stepping, flicking cut motion that could power his cut, but also allow him to stop the blade roughly in his general hip area to midsection. I'm going to attempt to set the camera back even further. Those of you who are longtime viewers know that Outlaw I have a very bad habit of not cleaning my room. Lower that down a bit. All right. What I meant by this was the blade is now stopped at my gut to hip section, meaning that with just a repositioning of my wrist, I can bring the blade back up into a forward guard. And this would have been a more realistic guard for Prince Adam to take, because this is the most basic of basic sword stances. The long sword, for katana, hell, even for sabers, this is the most basic of basic sword stances. Whether it's a single-edged blade, a double-edged blade, one-handed sword, two-handed sword, multi-handed sword, for all I care. He would have been able to simply bring the blade back up far easier this way than overextending and exposing his entire right flank. He then brings the blade up in a single-handed slash while stepping forward, exposing his entire flank once more. If you're going to do a horizontal upward slash, do it with two hands, but stop the blade somewhere to where your arm aligns so that your lead hand stops at your head or up here. This allows you to simply bring your sword back down and you can get into Wrath Guard. Or if you want to bring your point down, you can get into Ox Guard, or I believe this is also called Plow Guard, which allows you to basically have the sword's blade act as a quote-unquote pseudo-shield that you can then turn into your Kronpals and your Schwanhals, which are German master sword techniques. Then after which he does his whole spinning and then retracting the blade like he just got kicked in the nuts. Though that kind of spinning works if you have a blade long enough to facilitate it. Like I said, a sword like my Nodachi, which is the closest thing I have to a great sword or montante or something like that, can benefit from these sweeping motions. Because of the length of its blade, it's very good at crowd control, which is the very motion that Adam was using in the trailer. However, the Sword of Power is not long enough to be an efficient crowd-controlling blade. What he should have done from his whole overextended slash is instead pivot on his lead foot, taking a step back while retracting the blade to put himself back into standard guard. And from here, you could go into Wrath Guard, you could go into Ox Guard, you can go into even Fool's Guard. From standard guard, there are multiple different positions that you can put your blade in that would give you a better tactical advantage than just swinging the damn thing like a baseball bat and trusting that its indestructible blade will cleave through whatever you put in front of it. I should point out that He-Man canonically is a 16 to 18-year-old in most of his iterations. He's not a master swordsman, and Prince Adam himself does constantly try to sneak out of sword practice, so it makes sense that he's not a master swordsman or a master warrior like Man-at-Arms, but still, alright, you're gonna wield a sword, you're gonna fucking know how to use a sword. Alright? And it's because of there's just so many techniques that you can use. Hell, if your longsword is light enough, you can even fucking just whirl it around like a gen. Alright? Not to mention that there's also the techniques of thumbing the blade and putting a finger over the crossguard to get better tip control. And honestly, I'm not the first one to... I will always prefer using a slash or a cut over a thrust because a thrust can easily get a blade stuck in bone, but with the indestructible properties of the Sword of Power, that's not necessarily going to be a big concern. Plus, He-Man's enhanced strength would allow him to pretty much wrench the blade out of whatever he stabs into. Honestly, he could have if I was He-Man, I would have just stabbed the first dude through the skull, and then using the sword's indestructibility and my own physical strength, rip my blade clean of the skull, basically cleaving its way out. And using the full weight of the blade and my strength to just basically chop through each of the damn soldiers while pretty much dancing around them like prime Muhammad Ali. But I digress. There's just the choreographing of Adam's fight with Skeletor, the brief moment we saw, had better actual martial practicality than his fight that we saw with the guards. And I get it, you're going to choreograph the main fight better. No problem, Roboto-san. Thanks for tuning in. And like I said, you could have done better with the choreographed fight scene. So, there's that. Yeah. So, with that in mind, that brings us to the end of this live stream. The first live stream of 2026, by the way. So, until next time, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai tells all y'all be crazy rednecks. Be safe and use your weapons. I'm out. Peace. And I hope to make more live streams very soon. How do I... Not entirely sure how I end a live stream on my phone. Hope this doesn't... Take it easy, Desert Moon 9.